In this video, I'm going to be discussing 6 red flags that you're building a business that you can't step away from. And most of us creative entrepreneurs run into the situation to where we love doing what it is that we do. And we love interaction that we have with clients and customers and things of that nature, but it's draining us of our time and energy where we don't have any time or energy to do anything else. So with that being said, my name is Morgan Winfrey. I'm the owner and founder of JustWin Media, as well as a six-figure entrepreneur myself. My goal is to help as many creative business owners and professionals build profitable businesses on purpose. And so if that sounds like you, stay to the end of this video. Hopefully you find it impactful. Everything that I'm saying stems from the very first red flag. So if you get the very first red flag right, a lot of these things will start fixing themselves. Red flag number one is everything lives in your head. I find this very common that every creative entrepreneur that I know has a lot of ideas in their head. And they have a lot of things that they want to do or a lot of ideas that they want to execute on, but everything lives in their head and they write nothing down. And this is one of the biggest flaws that I see, or one of the biggest red flags that I see when it comes to creative business owners that want to scale their business. Because when it comes down to scaling your business and actually being able to execute on all of those ideas in your head, it needs to be other people that can help you, that you can delegate tasks out to in order for you to get more things done. Because you're only one person and you only have 24 hours in a day. And there are only so many things that you can actually or effectively do without quality. So you're the only person who knows the passwords, the process, the prices, the where files are, and all the steps to things. And you're the only person who controls all of that, and you don't have anybody that you can delegate tasks out to do, then you're building a business that you can't step away from. And so what you want to do to fix this is start documenting everything that you think of, as well as all of the things that you already do. So what you want to do first is take note and take inventory of everything that you already do on a consistent basis. So this goes for posting, this goes for your editing, if your videos, how you deliver your services, how do you create your products and things like that. These are all the things that you want to take inventory of, actually write down what your SOPs are, your standard operating procedures. Basically, what are the things that are repeatable that you can do every single time? Because once you have a system in place, then you can easily give that document to somebody and be like, this is how I do this. Step one, step two, step three, step four, step five. And it'll make it a lot easier for somebody else to jump into the role if you needed to step out or if you needed to go get to a conference and work still needed to be done. At least you don't have to worry about people having to wait on you to get done with your thing or potentially missing out on opportunities because you have client work that needs to be done. And let it be a checklist of the things that you do the most. Like I said, whether it's the editing, whether it's the actual service itself, the product creation itself, and things like that, actually write these things out and document them on a Google Doc or in a Word doc that you can actually print off or at least save in your file system in order for you to save and share with other people later as you start to build your team. You want to make sure that you're not trying to do everything by yourself and that you eventually, or at least be thinking long term when it comes to everything that you do. So things like presets, things like templates and things of that nature, those things make it a lot easier for somebody else to be able to step in and fill the role of what it is that you do in order for you to free up your time. Because at the end of the day, we're not in business to be doing all the work ourselves. We're in business so that we can help others create a bigger impact and be able to get more time free. Red flag number two is sales depend on your personality. So basically, this means that you don't have any type of team salesperson or anything like that. You are the salesperson, and if you're not the one that's doing the selling, then no sales get done. Basically, what this means that if bookings happen only when you post, or when you pitch, or when you reply to DMs, then you don't have a system that can sell without you being. Again, this goes back to those SOPs and those documents and everything like that. Whatever it is that you do, you want to be able to document those, but you also want to be able to hire on people or contract people in that can do that type of work for you. And stick around because I'm actually adding a bonus red flag that most creative entrepreneurs don't realize when they're going through this whole building a business process. So this is how you fix it. I want you to turn every pitch into a script. I want you to document And I want this goes back to documenting, because a lot of this is just really documenting and creating systems. The point of creating documenting things is so that you can create systems for you to be able to hand off to somebody else, and to just make the jobs repeatable and easier for the next person. If people know what to do, they don't have to figure it out. You don't have to be wondering what didn't work and things like that. It makes it easier to optimize when you actually have something to optimize. When you don't have anything written out or things like that, then you're just jeopardizing yourself later on down the line when you do start bringing on team members and people just doing things just based on what they think is best, instead of a proven process that you've used that's gotten you to that point in the first place. So what you'll want to do is you'll create a script and you'll create these reply templates. And this can be simple to start off with. Like I said, it can be a Google Doc, Microsoft Word document. This can be even in your notes on your phone. This can just be something that is like, this is what I say when I open up. So I have cold outreach, and then I'm like, this is my intro. This is my next step. This is the next thing I say. If they say, this is what I say. Because even the fact that you're the first one to do that task, then if you bring on anybody, especially if they're newer, if you're trying to bring on your friends, something like that, if you give them that template that they can just go by and just do this, just do this, insert their name here, insert their business name here, insert their problem here, insert those type of things. When you're able to do that, it makes it easier, and it shortens that learning curve of somebody who has never been in your business, don't know anything about your business, thing like that. It makes it easier for them to get people in the door. So this can be, again, this can be your interest, get them to the form, and then you can still handle on the calls and things like that. But at least you'll be able to delegate, hey, I need you to just do cold outreach for me today. This is the script that you need to go by. Just do this, copy paste it to everybody, or people, and just say the same thing over and over again. Just and do a little bit of research on your client and everything, and make sure that you're just using this, and just do that for me, because that saves time. Because cold outreach in itself is very time consuming. And so if you can systemize that, if you can optimize that for somebody else to do, then that's beautiful. And then your business can grow without you having to be the one that does all of those things. Flag number three. Red flag number three is every job is custom from scratch. If no two projects are alike, you're basically rebuilding the plane while you're flying. You need a repeatable system. You need something that is predictable for not only you, but for your team. Again, this goes back to the whole SOP. Everything that I'm saying stems from the very first red flag. So if you get the very first red flag right, a lot of these things will start fixing themselves already. So that first red flag is that everything is in your head, but you the only person that knows this stuff. So once you start documenting all this stuff, then a lot of this stuff becomes a lot easier. So let's just say you're a photographer and you want to systemize your photo shoots. Well, what you'll want to do is think about, where does the process start? So it's once they get into your system, once they fill out the form, what's the next thing that they need to do? They generally probably going to have to get on a call with you. Once they get on the call with you, what's the next step? Do you send them the link? Do they find the link on your website? What makes the customer journey easier? And this is basically mapping out the customer journey, as well as mapping out your implementation journey. You want to map out that entire process, the whole process of your service or your product or whatever. You want to map that whole thing out, just so that it's easier for you to explain to new hires and new people that you're bringing onto the team. So if I bring on another photographer, I'm like, this is the process that we generally go through. Once they fill out the form, call them within 30 minutes. That's just to see what package they need. We prescribe them the package that they need, and then we go ahead and book them right then on the spot. Once we book them right then on the spot, after that, they'll get a confirmation email. And after they get the confirmation email, we'll wait about 3 days and we'll send them this. And then after that, we'll actually confirm with the makeup artist, we'll confirm with the hairstylist, we'll confirm with the stylist and everything like that. And then we'll have those emails being sent out to keep constant communication up. And after that, then we have email and an SMS text that goes out to them right before the day of the shoot, and then an hour before the shoot. Once we have the shoot, then we go through each outfit one at a time. We go through the mood board, and you just go through the whole process. And it's a lot easier to explain all of this, because especially if it's repeatable with everybody, and of course, you'll have different packages or different offers. So you'll have to tweak it to each one. But if you know what happens every time for everybody, then you're not having to rebuild the plane as you're flying. You're just able to fly from point A to point B and get there smooth sailing. Red flag number 4, money stops when you stop. So the reason why this is a red flag is because all incomes are one-off. Let me say it again. All income is one-off. So basically, if you don't have retainers or if you don't have any memberships, you don't have any monthly packages, annual packages, quarterly packages, if you take a sick day, the days that you're not doing anything, you're not making it. And the thing when it comes to business is you don't want to have to always be present in order to make money. Now, yes, you will have to do certain things in order to make money. Like I said, actually doing the fulfillment when somebody orders, when somebody buys service or whatever. But at the end of the day, the more I hate calling it passive because you still have to do some work to get to make it passive. But in order for you to really scale and grow your business and have revenue that's not tied to your time, you need to have these type of memberships, recurring continuity offers or systems in place that allows you to breathe and actually be able to do work without wondering, because the times that you're editing or the times that you're sick or the times that you're doing X, Y, and Z, you're not making money. So if you're not the one that is actually doing all the sales and doing everything, all the DMs and all the posting and all of those things contribute to you actually making money, then you're losing money. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you put at least one recurring system in your business. Think about every single offer that you do or every single offer that you have and just throw it in the ChatGPT. Every single offer that you have, everything that's included and stuff like that. And ask ChatGPT this. Use the ChatGPT 5 thinking version. I think that one gives you the best, most in depth at least response. So, what could we offer as a recurring option for each of these offers? That's what you want to do when you paste in your offers. And then see what chat gives you. Chat generally has a good idea once you give it some background information on your business and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure everybody at this point has used ChatGPT to an extent. And if not, I'll create another video on that on another day. But at least throw that into ChatGPT to see what it gives you as far as recurring offers, because the more time you spend doing the work instead of actually working on the business and creating these types of things, the longer it's going to be until you're able to actually step away from your business. You want to just make sure you have different types of offers available. And then red flag number 5 is no backup people or vendors. So again, if you're the only person doing everything, if you're the only editor, the only shooter, the only barista, the only packer, the only coach, the only whatever, one emergency breaks that entire cycle. One emergency breaks that entire week. That if you generally have a system as far as like I do this and then I do this, or these days I do this and these family problems come up or financial problems come up, somebody dies, somebody whatever. Basically, if you have to call out and you don't have anybody else to pick up your shift, then your business is not going to grow. You're building a business that you can't step away from. And that's the biggest thing that we generally run into, because we want to be the one that does the thing. We want to be the one that does everything in our business. We want to be the one that edit because we have a specific style. We want to be the one that shoot because we have a specific style. We want to be the one who creates the thing because we the only ones who know how to do it. Like I said, everything branches off of that very first red flag. If you take everything out of your head and write it all down, document it, you'll start realizing, hey, I can actually give this to somebody else. Hey, if I actually document this, then this could be in video format, this will be in document format, this will be in audio format. I don't care how you do it. Just document your process. Document everything that you're doing, because that makes it easier for you to delegate tasks. And that's the whole thing this red flag boils down to, is delegating. Learn how to delegate. Cross train one helper on your checklist, on your SOPs, on just that one specific job. Not even everything that you do, but that one specific job. So if you're an editor, if you have a specific way, and I'm using editor because I'm a photographer by trade, nature, and stuff like that. So that's just the first thing that comes to my mind. But if you're an editor, if you edit your own photos and stuff like that, then hold some training for somebody who'd be interested in being your editor. And then give them a few test runs. Give them a few things that they can learn in order to replace you. And then you can throw some projects their way until they give you the result that you're actually looking for. And then you can completely offload that to them. You can cut them off a certain piece, or you can raise your prices up so that you can make sure that you include them in your price. And then you can go ahead and delegate that task to somebody else, and it frees up your time tremendously. Then the next thing would be social media graphics. Somebody, if you create the social media graphics yourself and you have a specific way that you like them to be done, or like them to include certain information that you would like for the buyers to have and like that, then you would train somebody on that if you have that type of knowledge. Or here's a pro tip: hire somebody who already knows how to do the thing. Instead of you having to train everybody on what it is that you do, hire professionals to do the things that you are not good at. Red flag number 6 is there's no weekly rhythm or numbers. Basically, you do not track it. You cannot scale what you do not measure. You cannot grow what you do not measure. So if you aren't tracking your metrics, if you aren't tracking your numbers, you basically don't know how many shoots you have, or basically don't know how many bookings you have, how many purchases you have, how many leads you got, how many sales appointments you got, what's your LTV, what's your LTGP. You don't know what your AOV is. You don't know what a lot of these numbers, there are a lot of these acronyms that I'm saying is you don't track your numbers. And if you don't track your numbers, you don't necessarily know what you need in order to scale. You don't know what you need to focus on. You don't know what you need to hone in order for you to scale. And so a lot of the times what I see happening here is that entrepreneurs, the creative entrepreneurs specifically, want to scale their business and want to be able to step away from their business, but they don't know exactly what to do because they don't know exactly what's going on in their business in the first place. They don't know how much money they're spending versus how much money they're losing. They just know that they have enough to pay their bills, and that's about it. And that's one of the things that tends to hinder a lot of creative entrepreneurs is the fact that they believe that they know what they're talking about when it comes to making X amount of money and things like that. But you don't know anything more than how much money your bank account says at the end of the month, and don't know anything about CAC, don't know anything about LGTP, you don't know anything about LTV, you don't know anything about AOV, you don't know anything about, and all of these things: lifetime gross profit, lifetime value, average order value, and things of that nature. If you don't know a lot of these metrics in your own company, you can just take this one prompt that you can use with ChatGPT and just ask, based on my business, what metrics do I need to know in order to scale? It'll give you all of the ones that you need to know. Use the thinking model. I like the thinking model most. I'll make another video on ChatGPT adjust itself, because the thinking model, especially extended thinking part of the thinking model, gives you a much broader, much more expansive definition, or at least explanation of whatever it is that you're asking for. But you want to make sure that you're at least taking 30 minutes. Could be an hour. Take about an hour. Take about 30 minutes to an hour on Mondays at the beginning of the week. This could be on Mondays, Sundays, whatever. But take at least 30 minutes to an hour at the beginning of your week and actually sit down with the team, or sit down with you and yourself, and sit down with a coffee, your laptop, a notepad, and a pen, and write down or go through every single thing that your business goes on. So this could be from production, this could be the pipeline, this could be your social media platform, this could be the money. How much are we spending? How much are we making? How many leads do we get? Are we getting every week? How many calls are we getting? How many appointments are we actually? How many bookings are we actually closing every week? How much are people spending over time with us? How long does somebody actually stay with us? Are there things that we improve on? What's the sales conversion? What are we doing in those areas in order for us to push? Numbers don't lie. So if we don't understand our numbers, then we're just throwing a dart in an abyss. And we don't want to be throwing a dart in the abyss, because at that point we're just spraying and praying, as we like to say in the photography realm. You're just spraying and praying, and you don't really have a target. And if you don't have a target, you don't even know when you've made any type of stride for real, any type of progress for real. And so bonus tip number 7, you're building your business brand with your personal brand instead of building your business brand from your personal brand. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. What I mean when I say you're building your business brand with your personal brand is that, and I see this all the time when it comes to creative business owners and creative entrepreneurs, but they're using their personal brand on their business page to build the brand. Everything is centered around the personality of the founder, the owner, the user. And it can get very confusing because it's kind of like a bait and switch. It's like I get you in, but somebody else is gonna do the thing. And while in a sense that's technically how you want it to be done, it's not honest, it's not truthful. And also it's limiting because there's a ceiling, because people feel like if you don't do it, then I don't want it to be done. Well, that gives you a different kind of leverage. It gives you something that you can actually lean into, and what that is the ability to charge premium for you doing the thing. Your time is the most valuable asset that you have. So if people want you to do it, then you can charge premium for it, especially if you have a team. because then that's a component of your offer that now you can leverage. I can do it and it's gonna be $5,000, or my team can do it and it'll be $3,000. That difference is just a $2,000 difference just for you doing it. Your business will still make money, but it'll make more money if you're the one that's doing it, because your time is valuable and you can't get your time back. You can always make more money. Obviously, I can still make $3,000 if my team does it, but my business can make $5,000 if I do it. And it takes me just the same amount of time as my team, or even probably less amount of time as my team, because I've honed my skills and gotten good to the point where I can do it with my eyes closed. But the point is, you don't want to try to build your business with your personal brand. You want to build your business brand from your personal brand. You're the key person of influence. I got this from Daniel Priestley and love the book. I definitely recommend getting the key person of influence, because as the key person of influence, you're the one who brings the business in. If you're the one that people hear, the face that people see, and everything like that, think about people like Myron Golden, Omar El Tapori, Alex Hermosi, Daniel Priestley. They have a personal brand that drives the business to their business brand. Does that make sense? So if you think about it like that, then if you build your personal brand to where you're the voice behind the brand and you're the person that is the thought leader and getting all these things out here. For me, Morgan Winfrey is the business coach. JustWin Media is the media partner. So although I know how to do the photography, the video, the editing, the graphic design, the website design, I also have a team that knows how to do it as well. If you want me to do it, it's gonna be a premium, and I'm still gonna have my team help me with it and stuff anyway. But yes, I can do it myself, but also my team for a much cheaper, much more cost effective. I hate saying cheaper, but for a much more cost effective price. So those are some of the things that you want to think about, because you don't want to cap your business at you. You don't want to be the bottleneck of your business. You want to make it to where you're actually delegating tasks out to your team, and it frees you up to be able to go do podcasts, to go be on red carpets, to go to fancy conferences and dinners and things of that nature, because you're not the one that's having to do the work. I can go to these things and I know work's still being done on the other end. So those are some red flags that I've seen, that I've experienced myself in business as a creative entrepreneur that's trying to grow his business from 6 figures to 7 figures. So if you take these things into consideration, if you identify these red flags, if I've said anything in this video that made you realize, dang, I am doing that, or dang, this is something that I've been struggling with, or dang, I've heard people say this is just confirmation for what it is I'm doing. Let this be a sign that, hey, I need to step back. I need to look at my business, and hey, if I'm not able to grow my business, or if my business isn't growing the way I want it to, then these are some of the things that I probably need to fix. So I want you to take this away. I want you to, and I'll put a little starter kit, a checklist in the comment section or in the description below, so that you can actually just copy and paste it and grab it and do some things with it. I also have a blog about this whole thing on my website. I'll put the link to that in the description as well, things like that. And if you want help with this, or if you just would like to get more information just like this, I do have a school community called Profitable on Purpose. This will help you build your business structure. It'll help you price your offers and land your first or next ideal client within the first 90 days of you joining. We get, and they'll give you access to me. We have weekly coaching calls. We have weekly Q&A calls, just one-on-one conversations where I can sit down and really look deep into your business and really get to know, where are you actually held up at? What are some things that you can actually do today that can actually make big differences by tomorrow or within the next couple of days, but especially within the next 90 days. And if you would just like to keep getting information like this on how you as a creative business owner can scale your business profitably and purposefully, and just hit the like button, share this with a friend, share this with another creative business owner that you feel like this will help. And I will see you guys on the next video. Hopefully this blessed you. Peace out.